Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. With your permission and guidance, Your Excellency, we may take some questions from members of the press. So we'll take 3 questions from members of the press. Remember, when you come up here, tell us who you are, which media house you represent, and I would like to re-emphasize that you ask your questions or point of clarifications in line with what the President has presented here. Just restrict yourself to the things the President has said. Members of the press, may I see your hands? Yes. Okay, Paul.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, Paul.
My name is Paul Shingongo. I work for Prime TV. Thank you so much for addressing the elephant in the room, which is political violence. Your stance is very clear and greatly appreciated. Mr. President, allow me to drive your attention to another elephant in the room, something that you have spoken to this morning, which is load shedding. I'm glad you did touch briefly when you talked about the power stations in the constituencies. I would like to find out, Mr. President, the key interventions that the government is putting in place to address the energy crisis. And knowing too well, Mr. President, that there's only 9 months remaining before we get to the pause, I would like you to speak clearly also on the timelines, how soon some of these interventions are able to yield results. Thank you, Mr. President.
I'll take another 2. Maybe Onswad and Mukwima, you can follow each other so that then.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
My name is Mukwima Jilala from Millennium Radio. Mr. President, you did touch briefly on the mining sector and in this regard on illegal mining as well as small-scale mining. But my question is, or rather I would love to bring to your attention the discovery of new minerals as well as old ones has come with great excitement from the people, the Zambian people out there. But many may feel that it may also be a time bomb if not properly handled. There are reports that the government plans to deploy military personnel to areas that are notorious in as far as illegal mining is concerned. But many feel that this is an empowerment to the youth. If true, I would want to find out from you what the justification is in as far as deploying military personnel. If not, what is your government's blueprint in as far as addressing the issue of illegal mining, which is scaling into some form of lawlessness? I thank you.
Your Excellency, you may. This one before.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
My name is Oswald Kafwanka from Prime TV. One of the issues that have been brought up by the Oasis Forum and other sectors and other quarters is the issues to have a comprehensive amendment process of the Constitution, and the timeline has been brought to the fore. So my question would be, is the government willing to maybe push the Constitution amendment process to after the 2026 elections? And in that line, when we're talking about the elections, I would like to also just bring a question to you, Your Excellency. You did highlight a number of issues that you inherited as a government. So going forward after the 2026 elections, should you manage to win the elections, maybe the type of government you are going to inherit, and your key campaign promises going forward for after the 2026 elections? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. You may attend to the three, then we'll take another three. So maybe the next three.
You are guide?
Yes,
you are
sir.
guiding? What are you guiding?
I was going to guide that the next three we can get from the ladies since
No problem.
we took from
No
the
problem.
guys.
Shabuino? So I address this, or I wait for the ladies?
You can address these ones,
Okay.
and then we take the next three.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, Paul, load shedding, key interventions, timelines. I think I tried to touch on that, we have taken a different posture to this issue. We've taken it as a problem, challenging, painful, but also as, flip the coin, an opportunity to solve a problem that was going to come anyway, sooner or later. Remember, we have not been investing properly in energy, diversified energy, for over 50 years. Properly, I mean, if you talk of an installed capacity of 3,600 megawatts, when the population was 10 million, that was our situation, almost, understand my usage of words. And now we have close to 21 million people. That alone, right? If you say this is where we are with electricity, and the drought came, we lost generating capacity. Check my hands. We lost generating capacity. So what has also compounded it, Paul, is that the economy is growing. When we target 3 million tons of copper, it means more consumption of energy. So the gap is growing. Even without the load shedding, without the drought, let's assume we were there was no drought, the gap would have started opening up because of the growth in the economy. So the very solution we want to grow the economy, to create jobs, is causing a problem in terms of supply. So we have to work aggressively for new generation. First, making sure that the existing installed capacity operates to the best level. I don't want to go into technical issues here. Line losses, transmission losses, all of that stuff. We're looking into all those issues. I'm only saying to you the remedies we're taking. Improving the generating capacity. I know Vic Falls Power Station, for example, it's an old station, and a lot we are now looking at doing something to improve the generating capacity within the same water challenges. Just an example. I talked of transmission losses. Another example. Working on that. What else? More importantly, we need to generate more power, diversified sources, mix. Solar. I've listed out a few solar projects that are going on. Tisamba phase 1, 100 megawatts. Tisamba phase 2, 100 megawatts, 200. Right? Milo in Serenge. Mansa. I talked about 50 megawatts. Ministers here. I talked about coal. But still on solar, we're encouraging homes, those who are capable, to put up their own solar at home. And because of the reforms, maybe the biggest answer, Paul, to your question is that we've pushed reforms in the energy sector to allow for independent power producers. Before, it was only ZESCO. Now we've allowed anybody, even you, even MPs are challenging. And I want to thank one MP for Kaumbwe. Kaumbo MP, right? Dr. Mwanza. In Parliament, I challenge MPs, find partners, invest in energy. Everybody's welcome. All of us seated in this room. This is an area where there will be no question asked. You have managed to invest in energy, do it yesterday. We're inviting everybody. And I say to parliamentarians, talk, find partners. Aaron Manza, who lived in China many years, good Zambian engineer. He took my challenge seriously. Last week he brought partners of his in State House here to invest in energy, in solar. Aaron Manza, MP for Kaombwe, PFMP. It's not a UPND MP, PFMP. I'm giving you what your government is doing, opening up the sector, but starting with the reforms, independent producers, independent, traders, open access, independent, not independent, power blending, tariff blending, and net metering, which allows individuals at your house to generate power. If you are connected, then you can sell the excess. Very important. But we know that not everybody can afford to do that, isn't it? That's why we are bringing other investments. Then coal. I articulated Mamba Phase 2, 300 megawatts. It's on train, using an English expression. It's on train, meaning it's on schedule. President Chapo of Mozambique came, our ship is docking there, carrying our equipment to Mamba. I asked the president, personally, that's what I do myself. I get engaged on these transactions to unlock challenges. So that our ship can be given priority to dock there, and then we can pick our equipment and move it to Mamba. Those are some of the specific measures, so that Mamba stays on on course. More coal. That's the resource gave us. I don't want anyone telling me that we cannot generate electricity from coal, because that's the resource God gave us. Minister of Green Economy, don't talk to me about those issues. Tizakambe sana tikasiriza kugwira nchito kuja. Antu hafuna malaiti ya Mzambia. So, United Capital Fertilizer, as a private investor, they've come for 600 megawatts. If you check in social media, the equipment, huge equipment, is already on the move. And the first 150 megawatts out of 600, I said earlier, will be coming through maybe by April or May. So all combinations, wind, others. There are many projects. What I will do, ask the Minister of Energy to release to the public how many projects are being implemented, how many megawatts, where. And earlier in the press briefing, I told you about the constituents initiative. $100 million were put on the table. And for the first time, constituencies councils will have investments. They are used to just appropriation in aid, equalization fund, just consumption. We said, no, let's not consume all this money. Let's invest to solve the electricity problem, but also for the constituencies and councils to have revenue. You see the mindset. Solve one problem, actually solve more problems. And the solutions are broader. That's what we're doing. I don't want to waste time, but if your question is important, we will get the Minister of Energy to release. Here, we are not talking about just government projects. We are talking about even private sector projects. CEC is doing a lot in Timpi 1, in Timpi 2. You saw me going there. You see a lot of me going around. I'm a hands-on president myself. Because if you sleep on duty, you may be led astray. One has to be alive 24/7. But the president is not a human being alone here. Cabinet is part of presidency. Cabinet office, central government, local government, parastatals is part of government. We're also extending that to private sector. We're one family. As I've shown you that a PFMP took the initiative, and this president is helping and facilitating so that he can invest and his Chinese partners invest in power. I challenged him in the House. I called him out. And he said, Mr. President, you called me out in Parliament see what I've done. I said, Mwanza, Wagwira Nchitu. Last week. Yeah. I think we should clap for people like that. So I think the answer is that we'll pull the numbers together. After all, Minister of Energy, this must be normal information which we are releasing to the people. Because some of these questions wouldn't come, isn't it? If people had information. Let's communicate more. Normal, mundane communications. Chilara, illegal mining, small-scale mining, with the discovery of minerals, this could be a threat. Why deploy the military personnel? What other measures are you taking? I think I articulated, Chilara, this. I spent a bit of time. We are doing a geophysical, high-resolution geophysical mapping to discover what the country is sitting on. For the first time, we're having a nationwide discovery process so that we know what we're sitting on. And remember, I said, we want to use our minerals to deliver value the way oil and gas delivered value for the Arabs. That's a huge message I've given there. But there will be small-scale, colleagues. What we don't want, Chilara, leave the issue of the army. What we don't want is illegal mining. That's what we don't want. Unsafe mining, number 2. Tell me, which parent has 8 boys and girls, children? Today is Tuesday. 3 of them go into those unsafe mines. And 1 dies, 2 come back. The parent says, where is your brother or sister? No, they died in the pit. Now, following day, is that parent going to allow the next 3 to go in that pit? Start from there. Your parents, would you allow your children to go down and die because they will bring kamo? They can bring kamo and go to a legal mine and mine safely, dig holes where engineers have shown them how to do it. And that's what Kabuswe is now doing, training for small-scale artisanal mines, how to mine without dying in the pits. I call that a responsible government. I don't call that a bad government. We want them to mine, get a license, 1,000 plus, give more licenses. But now we train them. I think the courses are going on. There is a Minister of Mines. Courses are going on. Those are some of the solutions, Chila, so that our children can go there and come back to us. No normal president will allow that to happen. And when the president and government is protecting you from there, you start throwing stones. You start attacking the president. That's what it was in Chimpala. It's the issue of the pit there, where 14 at one time, 14 died. The other time, 30, 40 died. That pit there. Thank you, Minister. And he and I and others went there. It was terrible. You saw me there. I even went down there, and out of 40, we retrieved 1. He's still alive, eh? We retrieved 1. Imagine how I felt. How would you feel? Then tomorrow you say, no, go again, so that another 40 die. What sort of leader would you be? Even those who are making statements and fair statements, they must put themselves in my shoes. Why would you allow your children to go down and die? Let's find food for them in a manner that they will eat the food and they will not die without eating that food. And it's possible to do that through safe mining. That's what we're doing. Legal mining, licenses, safe mining, so that the Ministry of Mines and others can now be engaged. Big mines have agreed to assist small-scale miners in mining safely in the nearby areas. We're working with them. So, the issue, Chilara, is not about the army or what. The issue is to have legal mining, safe mining, formal mining. 4, security must be proper there. Otherwise, you are going to have militias in Mpika there. Just wait and see. Those who are talking that language outside, they don't know what they're doing. You will have militias with heavily armed people there. And first they kill each other. You take a bit of gold today, that group knows you took some gold there. They wait for the night. In the night they come, and say, bring that goat. If there's no security. You don't bring the goat, they shoot you. That's what happens in Eastern DRC. You don't know why there's fighting there. It's minnows. This is a risk we should not allow to grow. I really shouldn't say much. So the issue is that illegal mining should not be supported. Let's support our people to get legal ways of mining and safe ways. The other issue, our young people are cleaning gold using mercury. So these rivers you see very soon, in Mpika, rivers are already polluted. Now, we want that water to irrigate our crops. You can't because polluted. You are aware of the cyanometal situation. We don't want to pollute our rivers. Security is not just physical harm. It's also polluting our environment. That's what it is. That's what it is. So let's work together in this area. Let's give more licenses, Minister of Mines. Let's train more. Give more licenses, let's train more. These minerals belong to our people. Even helping them to find, but actually, by the way, in the 2025 budget, 2026, we put more money, Chilala, to support in such program. The budget has had more money allocated to support the issues we're raising here. Oswald, comprehensive process in the constitution making process. Why not have a comprehensive process? Oswald, why was UNIP allowed to amend the constitution? Comprehensive process talks about the new constitution. But why was UNIP allowed to amend the constitution? Why didn't this thing arise? Because at a time, the nation evolves. Certain clauses may be okay, but others are not. So you limit it to that process. There was an attempt in 2016. The Bill of Rights was rejected by voters, the citizens. What did that mean? They said, no, don't touch that. That's the meaning. When you vote against something. But if a few people think they're superior to the majority, how can I deliver what those numbers of people want? If the citizens, the majority say no. I hope Oswald we're together. Where is Oswald? I hope we're together. You followed in 2016 the holistic approach which needed to touch the Bill of Rights was rejected. The results are there. So, who am I, sir? But if you don't want Kasempa to be broken into two, Kasempa, Mufumbwe, from one corner of Mufumbwe to another is 200 kilometers. From one corner to another. The Constitution provides for delimitation every 10 years. Check your Constitution. Why shouldn't we do it? President Sata, may he so rest in peace, announced districts. Pemba, this one, Chipangali. He announced first. He did not even consult anybody. He just announced district there, district here, district there. So what did the parliament have to do? Formalize what the president announced. They had to amend the constitution. You have forgotten. There was no street fights. What's what? The same people were there. They were even cheering. They were cheering. There were no street fights. Because you cannot have a district which has no constituents. That's the meaning. So therefore, the parliament had to ratify what the president, there was not even a technical committee. It was just a decision by decree. Presidential powers are enshrined in the constitution. And we all had to follow. And we said to our members of parliament, vote for it. Because the president has already decreed. We didn't fight. Did we like it? Maybe not. But we didn't go in the streets, my friend. I want Zambians to so search on this matter. I'm giving you facts here. Saying, no, do it after 2026. Why after 2026? Why are you suggesting after 2026? Oswald, it's us to ask you now. Why after 2026? Why? What is special after 2026? Let me remind you, my friend, the 40 million kwacha we're giving to each constituency, a large constituency like Kanchibia, is getting shortchanged because we need to take account of the population and the geography. And the Constitution provides every 10 years we must assess that. So you want to go to 20 years without amending constituencies that are big. Then how do we deliver equitable development? Because those constituencies now will have 80 million kwacha. But you, in your own view, and a few friends of yours are saying no, only do it after 2020, so that Kasempa, Kanchivia, Mufumbwe, you must think for other people who are suffering. That's what leadership is. Let me also be blunt now. Let me tell you, I didn't want to tell you this. I didn't want to tell you that. Over years, clearly there was discrimination in the delimitation of constituencies. Some provinces, huge provinces, had only very few constituencies. And no one raised the issues. Me, I look around and other people say, no, there's an anomaly here. There's an anomaly here. How can one MP service a constituency 200 kilometers by maybe 80 kilometers? How? Even if you are clever. I feel sorry for this guy. But more important, let's take resources to the people who own the resources. Let's appreciate what this government has done to take away money from the big thieves in Lusaka and take it to now the constituencies. I didn't even touch the infrastructure issues. What we found. LO 2000, whatever it was called, there were no roads done. There was nothing. And that's why we brought in the public-private partnership model, also to deliver infrastructure, Lusaka and Dola. You have seen now we are fighting over congestion in 10 miles. I'm sorry about that, but we're working hard to solve that problem, Minister of Infrastructure. But it's a temporal problem, because after that is resolved, I'm told RDA has said now in 10 days, that problem will be resolved. It's better to solve problems like that. You will have a better road there. And the government is not spending a kwacha or ngwe. It is ingenious way of doing it, public-private partnership. And Lusaka and Dola Road was talked about for many years. I'm talking of the dual carriage. Today, it is reality. In 4 years of COVID, 4 years of drought, 4 years of debt restructuring, 4 years of cholera, we are still able to deliver things like that. Avena Zambia. Also what? Naisana Kabiri. Why 2026 after 2026? There is something you want to do. And I'll tell you what you want. You don't want the UPND government to amend the constitution. You want someone else you are waiting for. You're waiting for your friends. I'm just abusing you. Also, as a journalist, he's asking the question on behalf of other people, the community. But I'm also using him just as a guinea pig, right? My friend, there's no provision to say you do it after elections. I've already demonstrated to you that UNIP did it in the election year, MMD did it in the election year, PF did it in the election year, only UPND you don't want to do it. Is that not segregation? Is that not discrimination? You are hiding behind this issue to deliver the real issues you are concerned about. The real issues you are concerned about, you don't want certain citizens to be in the presidency. You only want a certain group. Takwava ifyo. Bunanga. Not bunanga. I want to say this is quarrelsome, being quarrelsome. What should I say? I want to use them. Abu? Bunka kwa? If you feel. So, Oswald, thank you for your question. I think you are asking the question for other people. I appreciate your question. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, my dear friend. Appreciate your question, but really comprehensive. I've answered timing. I've answered. I actually preempted your question, right? I knew the question was coming. After 2026, because people are pushing for a regime change, you have to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to work hard. Let the Zambians decide what they want for themselves, not a small clique of people hiding behind other things. Huh? Now, let me remind citizens, who brought us debt? Who brought us debt? The same people sitting out there. Who brought Kadarism here? Who was killing people here? Right? Who dropped the economic growth to minus 2.8%? Who? So what is in them that you want them to come back so that they can amend the constitution after 2026? Yes. What is it that you want? Who removed free education? So who brought back free education? Who reintroduced meal allowances? Who is building hostels? Who is increased bursaries? Who is doing a school feeding program so that children can be fed and the attendance and the attention will be better? Who? That's what you need to deal with. Come with arguments to compete with our policies. I'm only asking here, which student who is going to school free of charge, which mother would be happy to go back to paying school fees? Let's think honestly here. Remove hatred first. Let's talk pari passu here, police to police. We brought free education. 2.3 million kids have gone back to school. Imagine what will these children have become in 5 years' time. So you are happy to have junkies, and we're cleaning up society. What do Papa? Honestly speaking, also, I thank you for your question, my dear friend. He's a good man. But those agitating for those things are exposing their true intentions. You can see they just don't want this chap, this Kachema here. Not what he's doing and his government. They just don't want the skin and the big ears. Nobody say, oh, apangira my ears. Teine boy. Teine. No, I'm not joking. I'm serious. I mean, you can read what is going on. You can smell it. You can smell it. You don't have to be intelligent to smell what is going on. You can smell the coffee. All right? Next.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We take the last three questions. Like I promised, it would be from the ladies. Victoria, Diamond, Mwiche, Diggers, Joy, ZNBC. You can come through so that you follow each other one.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Afternoon.
My name is Victoria Kayeye Yambani from Diamond TV. With your permission, I have three questions. One on the Constitution, one on the economy, and one on something that you've not touched. May I go ahead?
The moderator is there. He's the boss.
You ask one question.
Allow her maybe two, middle ground.
Okay, two.
Negotiation, you see? Instead of fighting, negotiations. Dialogue.
Thank you so much. My first question, Mr. President, you have already touched on it briefly, and this is on the increase of MPs from 156 to 211. The expansion comes really at a time when Zambia is currently facing serious economical pressures. And I would like to find out, has your administration conducted cost-benefit analysis, and will you make it public? My second question is, in your address, you did highlight the fact that Zambia is in the right direction, and there are quite a number of positives that we've made towards the economic recovery. When will these positives turn into real value for the people, such as the lower cost of goods and services? Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Afternoon.
My name is Muchena Luimba from News Diggers. I think a lot of questions have been asked, but a point of clarity. I think you mentioned that those who did violence are regrouping. The question is, are they regrouping in the UPND or in the PF? And then also, recently we have seen some wrangles in the opposition political parties, some blaming that the wrangles are being sponsored by the UPND. What is your comment on the wrangles in the opposition with regards to democracy? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Joy Nyambe from ZNBC. I know you've touched on the issue of energy, addressing the various interventions that your government is putting in place to address the crisis. Arising from that, there is a concern among citizens on the exploitation by some businesses selling green energy products such as solar equipment. You agree with me that solar equipment is excessively high in Zambia, despite your government having zero-rated import duty on the solar equipment. What is your response to this situation? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Those are the last 3 questions we got. You may proceed to address them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Ladies, we appreciate your questions. Victoria, more MPs, cost-benefit analysis, pressure on the economy. Yeah, I mean, the thing about delimitation has been going on. In fact, the process was started by the previous government. A report is already out, Victoria, which covered the issues you are raising here. So, but the main issue here is to look at what does the Constitution say. The Constitution says that we must review constituencies every 10 years. That's a constitutional provision. What for? To ensure that you are able to delimitate, to take account of population, 1, 2, geography, physical geography, distances, complexities of a constituent. It's in the Constitution. So, and the governments before us have done that. But look at the population has increased and some constituencies are too large. I already touched on that. But the real study as a base was done by the previous government. I think the report came out in 2018 or 20 somewhere. 2018? 2019, I'm being told. So that answers your questions. But for us, in our government, we see more than what I've just said. We see things slightly differently, beyond what the basics is provided for. Delimitation for population, for distance or geography, size. We see something else. We see an opportunity to provide equitable distribution of resources. We see that fine line. We see how big constituencies are struggling to build more schools to accommodate free education because of the size of the constituency and the population. We see the issues about water and sanitation. We see opportunities for the CDF grant element to support widows to raise chickens, to support the youth to run a workshop to produce window frames, to produce door frames. We see the fine line that in some constituencies we're not delivering this money equitably. And we would like that done so that we are fair to the people who put us in office across the country. And the inequities, we also see them. Let me be blunt today. We read through the inequities, how certain regions were left behind in terms of constituencies. You see it. You don't have to be intelligent to see, right? So we want to heal those issues. We want to heal citizens not accessing skills training because the budget of that constituency is limited and the people are more. In Lundazi, in Chama, I'm giving you examples here. In Kazungula, if you go to Kazungula and look at that, in Europe it's a small country. I can go on and on. You go to, I told you Chama. One of the advantages I have, I've traveled this country for many years. And I was always figuring out that when God, through his people, gives us an opportunity to run the country, we're going to change certain things. Because we saw, we talked to people, but let me not overstretch. We see more than just delimitation. We see equity. We see an opportunity to take our children to school across the country. No matter what their circumstances, no matter who their parents are, we see an opportunity there. That's how we see this CDM. It's not more about an MP sitting, it's more about the resource allocation. Isn't it? So I hope I have answered your question there. When will the positives turn into value? Victoria, first I spent time this morning going around where we were in 2021, where we are now, just to give you a few parameters. A few parameters. Just a few. The stability in the exchange rate. I talked about businesses importing now equipment for investment. I see an opportunity, we believe. For example, before we came into office and then these reforms were put in place, the foreign reserve had plummeted to $1 billion or so. I know it doesn't make sense to some people, but it's very important. Now, it is over $5 billion. What is the meaning of this? In there sits the sense of stability that if there were no export revenues and the country needed to maintain the essential imports such as medicines, you will still be able to import medicines for 5 months, even though you did not earn anything, as opposed to 1 month of import cover. I don't want to confuse and bring in expert arguments here. But that's what it means. That assurance, Victoria, means that the kwacha will not be vulnerable based on sentiments. Hence the stability you are seeing. What else? I talked about the jobs in Mopani, that an additional 2,000 jobs have been created. Surely, is that not a benefit you are seeing now? What other benefit? I said close to 100,000 new jobs in the public sector have been created because of our policies and reforms. Let me pose a question. It's not for you to answer. It's for the people out there. When did any government before us ever employ 30,000 teachers at one go? There is a benefit. And in my speech, I said that teacher employed will look after 8 family members plus 10 extended family members. Those are the benefits already. You can go to health, you can go to medicines. When some donors pulled back on grants on medicines, health, you know what we did? We pulled money from wastage, travel, size of delegations, length of stay, and pushed it into health and increased the health budget ourselves. It means now medicines will be there. Those are benefits, madam. I probably have an idea what you are trying to see. What you are trying to see is coming gradually because, for example, when, let me not go there. when we had a drought, we had a food shortage. Then we encouraged farmers to grow more, right? Then we have a bumper harvest. That's a direct benefit of the policies of this government. The irrigation, I'm talking of 500,000 hectares, with or without rain, will have food. Those are benefits. What else? Let me just pick one issue, which I think should be close to your heart and our hearts. If you are a parent of 8 children and they are going to school, they're still young, say they're 2 years apart or 1.5 years apart, they're still going to school. Before we came into office, you had to find money to pay for these school children in school. Now, that money is staying in your pocket. You had to make sure your children have enough food before they go to school. Now, they can go to school and eat at school. School feeding program. Are those not benefits? Colleagues here, are those not benefits? Already they're happening. Directly. Free education. As a monk myself, and we have a principle as university students, once a monk, always a monk. As a monk myself, except I'm cheating, I'm married now. Meal allowance is very important. It was removed by those who were there before us. When we came back, we reinstated it. It has a direct benefit on the performance of a student in college, because they can now go to college having eaten, in classroom, I mean. Is that not a benefit? Victoria, please, my dear sister, these are immediate benefits. You don't even have to wait. I've said quite a bit around here, because your question is very important, madam. So we are moving step by step. Remember, I was saying that we are doing things, but it's not enough. We can do more, isn't it? We can do more. Let's work together to do more. There's a lot we can do together. Maybe last example. Before we introduced reforms in agriculture, FISIP, we were giving fertilizer to people who were not farmers. We were giving seed to people who are not farmers. We've now introduced an electronic system called e-voucher, isn't it? And since we introduced it, we caught cheaters, call them anything. 215,000 people who were getting fertilizer and seed and were not farmers for many years, we were able to expose them and remove them, and then brought in new real farmers by the same number. Clear benefit. Clear benefit. Except that these benefits come in these bits and pieces in different sectors. After 2 or 3 years, you begin to see a country looking totally differently where I'm sitting. I hope you are aware that our policies now have brought a joint venture where we'll be manufacturing drugs. 700 types of drugs will be manufactured close to my home there, Lusaka South Economic Zone. The construction has started already. Our policies. Make drugs available, make them cheaper. Before, madam, this is a nice story that can go on. We were importing fertilizer at $1,300 per ton. We came up with a policy of producing fertilizer here for more jobs to lower the cost. From $1,300, we are producing fertilizer now. The price has changed from $1,300 per ton to $800 per ton. Correct me, Minister. Clear. We farmers see it. Benefit. What else? We are exporting fertilizer now to 8 countries. We were importing, we were self-sufficient, then we are exporting. More foreign exchange, more stability in the kwacha. Then you can import your milling equipment at a lower price. That's the connection. more jobs. What do they employ? How many people do they employ? United Capital Fertilizer? 8,000 people. 10,000. From 0 to 10,000. Multiplied by 8, multiplied by 10. I gave you the factor. There is no argument. The benefits are already coming. Except what you are not seeing is tantamen. That's where the problem is. Tantamen. Queue here, and then we'll dish cash. That's not part of our menu. What we want is to create opportunity. That same noise that you hear, the noise is around tantamen. That is where the noise is. But they will conceal it in many ways. It's about tantamen. It's about entitlement. It's about give me cars. From where? Yes, from where? Hello, Fumakwi. Let us be a country of people willing to work. I have said let us be a country of producers, not just consumers. Let's produce something. Ka 1 acre. Uri makangono chambe. 1 acre is enough to give you milk for the whole year. Just 1 acre. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a farmer. 1 acre. My mother is 83, 84 years old. She refuses to sit. I give her an allowance. She says, I work for myself. Every year she sells to me for my feedlot not less than 30 steers at 83, 84 years old. She's there. She says, I don't want your allowance. I want to work. I want to die working. Because if I just sit, I'll die early. And she's shrewd. She knows the prices of steers. I try and cook her up. She says, this is the price. Let's teach our communities to work. There's pride in working. Even God wants us to work. The anger is on tantamen. That's the anger. And it comes in many ways, disguised in many ways. Yeah? In China, regrouping. Violent people are regrouping. In UPND or in PF or in TONS. My answer is simple. They are not allowed to regroup in PF or in UPND. They will not be allowed to regroup in PF or in UPND or in TONSE. They will not simply be allowed and will go very heavy on this one. Very heavy on this one. So there is no issue of where they are tolerated, madam. They are not tolerated in UPND, they are not tolerated. But the genesis of thuggery in this country is known. Where did it come from? Who was killing people in the streets? It is known. But people choose to ignore that. But this government will not allow thuggery sitting in any political party. Let me be clear. Sitting in any church. Sitting, hiding behind a church. You commit a crime, there is no church there. You are simply a citizen. The Constitution does not distinguish. You commit a crime, there is no UPND, there is no PF, there is no church, there is no ethnicity. I am very clear in my mind about this. You can't hide in the UPND and commit crimes. Let me tell you, my colleagues, corruption must be fought. And corruption is not an ethnic issue. I know what people are trying to say. Today I will tell you that. We have a DC I appointed in Nisoka who store fertilizer. I think it's fertilizer or seed. You've forgotten. Fertilizer. He's in now. He's serving a sentence in. I appointed him. I appointed him. Just one example. Let me remind you, former Minister of Foreign Affairs connives to move millions of dollars from the Minister of Finance, took it to Turkey, and then followed it on a presidential plane. Went and withdrew cash, brought it here, then he shared it. He started depositing in the bank every day for 11 or so days. Then he did a transfer to buy 2 helicopters. Your money, the money that belongs to children in school. We prosecute him. People were making noise. Oh, no, what? We did our numbers. We talked to people, said, come and give evidence here. He's been found guilty. And we are recovering that money. Better that money goes to pay meal allowances. That money goes to pay for free education. How can we say now the fight against corruption is targeting politics or ethnic groups? Can we come off some things? Eh? It's even embarrassing to talk about such a thing. And that individual did it. The court has proved. Now, imagine how many cases we have not prosecuted. How much money? One individual, we recovered $30 million. No, some level of greed is frightening. $30 million. Moved it to Seychelles, moved it here and there. And the noise was that, no, there's no fight against corruption. We recovered that money. We recovered one person. We must detest corruption. Fellow citizens, I'm asking you, let us join hands to detest thieving from people. So, Madam Michelle, there is no hiding place for thuggery. And I think we are clear about that. Joy Nyambe, exploitation by traders selling solar as an example. You are spot on. We have to work hard to ensure that people are not being cheated. When we remove duties, the price of solar must come down. You are spot on. And I think we are all hearing, colleagues, let's address that issue. Having said that, Madam Joy, the price of solar has come down. Before, to invest in 1 megawatt, you needed to pay $1 million. Now, to invest in 1 megawatt, you pay less than $700,000. Technology is better. But the traders are taking advantage, some of them. I think we need to deal with that. Minister of Commerce is here, is listening. We don't coerce them, we sit down with them in a civilized way. We don't go in the streets demonstrating against them. We bring them in the room and talk to them. I've finished answering the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Another round of applause. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We have come to the end of the press conference. I would ask that we all stand to sing the national.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.